Good morning, everyone. So let us start with the background of the case. Let us start with issues and concerns of the company. Number 1. Mr. Rod's expertise is not aligned in the assigned task given to him. Mr. Rod Santos in his academic achievements in bachelor's degree in the field of engineering is quite satisfactory, and his previous employment is in the construction firm. He was hired to head the HR department in the prime manufacturing company, which is obviously not aligned sa course na pinag-graduatean niya. Because of this, nagkaproblema siya sa pag-prepare ng payroll and handling employee records. Number 2 is Mr. Rod Santos' indecisive approach in the HR problem and actions that he failed to take. So, in 3 months na pag-work ni Mr. Rod Santos in Prime Manufacturing Company as HR Department Head, 30% of women employee and 12% of employees in men has resigned due to unknown reasons. Kinall out ni Mr. Mario Mabilangan si Mr. Rod about this because nagka-complain na yung mga subordinates about sa indecisiveness ni Mr. Rod and di niya alam kung ano yung kanyang gagawin about sa situation. So, number 3 is production schedule was delayed. So, because of the situation nga po where a few of the employees ang nag-resign, na-delay po yung production nila ng garments. And nagagalit na po yung mga foreign customer nila which is against po sa prime importance ng company, which is yung customer satisfaction. Now, let's move on sa parties or the persons involved. First person po na involved is si Mr. Rod Santos because siya po and his indecisiveness ang dahilan kaya nagkaroon ng problem sa HR and also sa company. Second is si Mr. Mario Mabilangan, which is the general manager. Siya po ang nag-call out at nag-point out kay Mr. Rod Santos about his indecisive approach sa HR problems. And lastly, yung foreign customers, which is yung mga naapektuhan sa pag-resign ng mga employees at delay ng production sa company.
The 3 main problems need immediate attention or solutions. First, Mr. Rod's expertise is not aligned in assigned job position give. Mr. Rod Santos has a bachelor degree in engineering, but he was not suitable candidate for the job because his lack of necessary skills and knowledge for the position of human resource manager in the prime manufacturing company. Mr. Rod Santos' employment underwent some changes over the 3 months, resulting in 20% of female employees and 12% of male employees resigning for unknown reason. They did not conduct or undergo a proper exit interview. The second problem is Mr. Rod's indecisive approach to the HR problems and action that he failed to take. Mr. Santos' subordinates and managers are both frustrated by Mr. Rod's indecisiveness toward his job. Mr. Mabilangan confronted Mr. Santos about his competence, but his work performance remained unchanged. Mr. Rod Santos became more distant from his subordinates and became more focused on mental jobs concerning the department, which eventually led Mr. Santos to lose control of his job and managing the department. The third problem is the production schedule was delayed. Since the employees are the ones who handling the production, the labor depends on them. If there are no employees to make the product, the production will not function. It is because the prime manufacturing company is a globally competitive and customer satisfaction is important. Employees' commitments to the performance standards are high priority. But with the majority of employees resigning for unknown reason, the production schedule was delayed and the foreign customers were alarmed.
After being mentioned about the problems that need immediate solutions, we are now proceeding to discussing the alternative courses of actions that needs to be considered by the company. The first alternative course of action to be considered is Mr. Rod's expertise is not aligned with the assigned job position given to him. The first solution is to transfer Mr. Rod Santos to a department where his expertise is aligned. Mr. Rod Santos would be a better manager in a different department where he can do more and use the degree in engineering that he has. The maintenance department or operator of machines would be a better fit for him as it aligns with his degrees. The second one is to set up an informational interview for Mr. Rod Santos to know his strengths and weaknesses. The employment of Mr. Rod Santos was based on his academic achievement and his past performance in his job. Having said, it is better to interview him again and ask about what he really wanted to do for the betterment of the company. The third one is to find a workable path for Mr. Rod Santos to explore things further, to see whether the new role or department is actually a good fit for his talents and abilities. Mr. Rod is a good employee, and it is better if the company will help him grow and find the right path for him without resigning from the company. This solution will also help him trust the company more because it will create a relationship between him and the company. The second alternative courses of actions to be considered is Mr. Rod's indecisive approach to the HR problem and the actions that he failed to take. The first solution is to hire someone with the right expertise to replace Mr. Rod Santos. It is not a surprise that Mr. Rod Santos is not the right fit for this role as many of the employees under him resigned. So it is better that someone will take charge of his position. The second one is to create job descriptions for the position reflecting the responsibilities, level of skills, and experience required. Mr. Rod Santos took the job because his previous job failed. He absent-mindedly took the job because of his needs, without actually understanding what are his duties in the company. So it is better if the company will create a clear job description so those who are willing to work will know that there are responsibilities to be filled. The third one is to hire internally to retain organizational knowledge and get up to speed in their new roles more quickly than external. The company has 1,250 employees to choose from. Having someone who already know how the company works to replace Mr. Rod in his position is a better option than hiring someone externally and going through a long process of hiring for the position again. The last alternative courses of action to be considered is the delay of production schedule. The first solution is to communicate properly to the clients and ask for an extension for the production. Because of the lack of manpower, the company experienced delay in production that affected the company and its clients. Communicating this problem directly to the client will help them understand the internal problem that the company is going through and will prevent miscommunications. Having this kind of relationship with your clients is a big step for the company to have lifelong clients. The second one is to hire more employees to replace those who left and increase the production manpower. 20% of women employees and 12% of male employees resigned, so the department lacks manpower to continue properly. Hiring more people will retain or even increase the department's production that will eventually have an impact on the company. The last one is to plan a production timeline to track the project's progress and boost motivation and improve communication. With Mr. Rod Santos admitting that he became more withdrawn from his subordinates, this should also raise an alarm in the company. They need to improve their communication so they won't experience losing employees again. Creating a production timeline will be beneficial to the employees as they can prepare ahead of time and won't resort to last-minute productions.
Suggested course of action that need to be addressed. Find a workable path for Mr. Rod Santos to explore things further, to see whether the new role or department is a good fit for his talents and abilities. Mr. Rod Santos graduated with bachelor's degree in engineering and he was hired as HR manager. As a result, whether there is an occurring problem, he was completely unsure of what to do and became indecisive. Based on the analysis, finding a workable path for Mr. Rod Santos that meets his expertise is the most effective way to do. Hire internally to retain organizational knowledge and get up to speed in their new roles more quickly than external hires. Since Mr. Rod Santos' role has changed, the company can replace him with someone who is already inside the department and is more liable and knowledgeable about how things work inside the department in order to complete the necessary tasks and keep the HR department operational. 3. Plan a production timeline to track the project's progress and boost motivation and improve communication. The company must take an action regarding the current situation to prevent production delays in the future. First, create a production timeline to have a record of the project's production process. Implement employee motivation to encourage the employees to be more productive and work efficiently to achieve the company's desired goals. And practice good communication between the employers and employees for the benefit of not only the people who work inside the company but also for the whole company itself.
Overall, it is crucial for everyone, especially those people who has the authority, to know that a company's rules and regulations must be followed in order for its system to be properly managed. When an employee is in good fit in a position, it typically means their skills, expertise, interest, and personality differs from what expected for the role. This can cause problems for a company. Having an unqualified candidate in a department can disturb other employees and decrease the productivity of the company. It is very important for a globally competitive company that focuses on customer satisfaction to comply with the proper hiring process because a badly performing employee will negatively impact the workforce, could drive down sales, and could cause a business to face a lot of unnecessary problems. By hiring the right person for the position, the business will move in a positive direction and will be right on track.